Hey guys, welcome in to today's webinar. As everyone's coming in, we are just going to do our normal hello. Put in the chat what you are binging on Netflix or on any other streaming. Personally, Squid Game, the challenge has come out, so I'm watching that, and I'm watching Nurse Jackie. Nawress, what are you watching?
Yeah, you were asking me earlier. I don't get a lot of time to watch things, but I did enjoy Landman, so I watched the first episode last night, late last night, but I did.
Okay. Wait, what'd you think? Because I thought it was terribly written and terribly acted.
It's entertainment. I watch TV to unplug, so
It's
it's
just like mindless trash.
great, flashy entertainment. Yeah.
We have a Love is Blind, Dancing with the Stars. I'm not into this. I don't watch Dancing
Love
with the
is
Stars.
Blind, Christmas
That's
movies.
her
Yeah,
thing.
you guys are right up my wife's list.
Hallmark movies, always. Um, I
Yeah.
love.
Somebody's saying they live close to the Landman. We have great friends in Odessa, so that's the other reason I watch it.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Tulsa King, dude, I've been dying to watch that. That's with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. Mhm.
That one looks good. We got some Wicked. Stephanie, welcome. Yes. Have you seen it? It just came out. Was it yesterday? It like premiered at midnight. I know a bunch of people that went late last night. So I love it. Becky, you're going tonight. I'm jealous. I feel like I need to go this weekend for opening weekend. Welcome you guys to our webinar. We're going to be talking about AI admissions. You can tell us where you're from. Say hey to everyone in the chat. I already told our guest today, Nawress, that we have a chatty chat. I feel like, I love it. People are like, they get in the comments, they share their expertise. And I love that. It feels like a community. It feels like a family here. So, Nawress, I'm going to introduce you to our beauty school group and of course some
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some names that I know, which is kind of cool. Some names I haven't
Oh,
seen in a long time, but this is good. Yeah, go
I
for it.
love it. So tell us who are you? Tell us about your expertise so that people can believe you when you
Yeah,
speak.
absolutely. So, I grew up in education. I actually started in admissions by accident, and I've done almost every job in higher education that you can imagine. And I've operated out of or operated schools or worked in schools throughout the country. So, my first admissions gig was on accident as part of a training program out in California for a trade technical college. And then I grew up in the industry. So I've been a college president, vice president of operations, admissions, chief marketing officer. I've had a lot of fun roles and functions and experience with different programs, degree, non-degree, beauty.
Okay.
And I have been operating a firm since 2012 that supports higher education institutions in change management and growth and technology and operations. And I support a lot of companies, SaaS companies and media companies throughout the space through an advisory role or a board role or a leadership role. And I work with a lot of the schools that are on here. So that's exciting. So,
I love
yeah.
to see it. And I was just telling her, asked kind of about our the type of people that come on. We have everyone from the big Paul Mitchells and Avedas to some of the smaller mom and pops.
Yeah.
And so we are going to try to keep this conversation relevant to
Sure.
all different types of schools.
Sure.
Um, and we want to give you guys the best practices and what's going on today with AI admissions. I got to be honest with you. I had been putting off this webinar. Three people literally emailed me 2 months ago and they're like, Jen, we need an AI admissions webinar. And then when I went to AACS, everyone was like, when are you going to do AI admissions? I've been putting it off because I am so sick of hearing about AI. I feel like every single session at CQ is about AI. I feel like every post on LinkedIn is about AI. Are you over AI or are you like you here for it, Naras?
Yeah,
What's
yeah. I mean, I'm here for it. I've been working with institutions and school groups since 2020 in piloting and testing AI. So
okay?
definitely been involved in it for quite a while, and we do it a lot, within our companies and with our school groups and our clients. So, it's like anything, right? That's new. It gets a little fatty, then it gets a little exciting, then everybody wants to talk about it, and it gets a little
Yeah.
clickbaity. But this is real. It's here. So yeah, I'm here for it, and I'm happy to talk to
It feels
everyone.
like a topic that we need to be addressing because some schools, as you know, are already really like going down this AI pipeline. And then I always feel like beauty schools are a little behind other schools.
Sure.
No offense, but that is just like my experience. You know, that's another reason why I was like, this is a relevant topic. So I do want to talk about it. Um, Before we get into I don't want to maybe disrupt what is going on well with schools that are using, let's say, in-house reps.
Sure.
What old school practices do you think actually still do work and are relevant for schools that have in-house reps?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great place to start. So if we're focusing on recruitment and admissions and enrollment as it relates to beauty schools, you know, what you teach, what you educate, what you prepare people for is very tangible. It's very hands-on, right? There's not anytime soon, at least, is there going to be a robot that understands color and cut, and the difference in doing that to different clients, right? So that's what you have to focus on. So anything that is related to in-person tour, problem solving, supporting, motivating. There's a lot that goes into admissions and recruitment, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's the process, whether it's getting somebody excited about the career potential, or helping them through the process to get started. Education is still hands-on. It's still in person. I'm not aware of beauty schools that do it remotely right now, nor any states that allow for that. Essentially, anything from I'm on campus till I graduate is not going to change anytime soon as it relates to AI.
Right. So
We can get a
education
little deeper into
is
that for
good.
sure. Yeah.
And I like that you brought up tours because I
Yeah.
am very pro in-person tours for reps or
Sure.
for prospects, especially at a beauty school, right? Like we're not walking someone around like an accounting school of like, here's a cubicle. Like, I mean, you're talking about like a salon. You're talking about like a kit and mannequins. Like that to me cannot be outsourced to AI.
No, it can't. No, absolutely not. Right. So, Um, yeah, I mean, it just ties back to that point. It's very difficult to maximize recruitment for beauty schools without having an effective tour process. And that tour is going to be done by amazing humans like the folks we have here for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But let's also talk about where they can fail or where there's pitfalls. I mean, what are those drawbacks you think to having human reps in a school?
Yeah. It's a controversial question, right? So, I always talk to AI from four different points of view, whether it's the leaders or an admissions rep or somebody in marketing or operations, right? You have to look at your school or your job, right? Whatever it is that you do today, from the lens of employee experience. So, what I have to do my job and how well the system process structure is set up for that, student experience, and where a lot of beauty schools miss the mark is they don't recognize that the student experience starts from that first impression, ad, post, social media engagement, billboard, whatever it may be, all the way through graduation, right? And for recruitment, it's all over the place. And then student outcomes and school outcomes in the form of placement, graduation, reputation, and if you're a for-profit entity, right, profitability. If you're a nonprofit, efficacy, right? Can I make it another year? So when you look at it that way, AI gives school groups, especially beauty school groups, the ability to deploy on efficiency, resources, improvements in process and technology that they may not have been able to do for a long period of time. So
Mhm.
imagine custom tailoring a student experience to every single student. Well, that would be very robust and expensive and difficult to do. And you can do that today. I mean, you can do that in 24 to 48 hours. So where do you miss, right? It's like when computers came out is where AI is today. And imagine deciding as a school that you're not going to use computers in your process. Well, in a very short period of time, that is what AI is. And I think the confusion, Jen, is that most people are used to AI through conversational AI, like talking to GPT or Claude or on your phone through X or whatever it may be. And when we talk about operational school deployment, we're talking about functional AI. So we can get into some really fun stuff for admissions, but imagine, and I say imagine even though it's currently happening at scale today. Imagine as an admissions representative to never have to enter another note again on any interaction with any student, or having a disposition a student status or stage in any system, or to have to think about what the next reply to a text, email, chat, or DM should be. That's functional AI, and that's happening to scale today. So whether you have one admissions representative or you're one of one on your team, or it's 100, there's true functional use case today that's not scary and ghosts. It allows us to improve experience and outcomes. So that's probably a fun place to start.
Well, it's funny when you say about the computer, obviously everyone has to have a computer today. You are saying, listen, if you don't want to get on board, okay, everyone else is, and you're going to be left behind.
Yeah, I mean, you're either going to get left behind or just going to be late to the party, but whatever it may be, it's going to be deployed within your infrastructure, right? So,
which I've been saying, by the way, not to toot my own horn, but since 2019, I've been telling everyone to get on TikTok.
yeah.
And now it's about to be 2026. And just now, schools are like, wait, Jen, I think I should be on TikTok. And I'm like, shut up. I've been telling y'all for how long. You guys all thought it was a fad. You thought it was going to go away. And look at it. Look at it. It's huge. And I think you are right when it comes to AI. I'm going to be honest with you from an admissions perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
This is why I'm going to tell you real story why people don't want to use it. They're afraid they're going to lose their job.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
if someone can answer the phones for me and text for me and do the paperwork, what does this school need me here for? So let's address for starters, and especially in smaller schools, like, is that a threat?
Yeah, so let's start on the scary side and then we'll unwrap it so that we can get less afraid of it. The reality is today we are working with colleges and deploying technology that can do end-to-end admissions. That's the truth. And a lot of the fear or anxiety is, how can artificial intelligence understand a nervous student, a student that can't figure out their schedule, childcare, payment, a student that doesn't understand whether they want to be a nail technician or a full-on cosmetologist. And the reality is the technology is improving so quickly and knowledge-based infrastructure is moving so fast that, yes, so let's start scary, right? Currently today, schools are deploying and there is technology available to do it in a compliant manner, in a very effective manner, all the things that an admissions rep does today, minus a tour, obviously. There's no robots running around
For
schools.
sure, call centers today in schools are being replaced with AI. That's
100%. I mean, there's a available AI technology that can inbound a request from a potential student, make outbound communication via call, text message, email, or social media or chat, have a full-on conversation, guide a student through an online application, help a student through a FAFSA, address objections, resources for students, collect payments, set up payment plans, all the above. All that exists today. So that's the scary part, right? If you want to spend a little bit more time there, we can. If we want to go to kind of,
I think we're going to circle back to some of those specific things, but like top level, yes, AI can replace specific jobs. But what I think you're saying, and what I want to say is that sometimes jobs just have to shift.
yes.
Right? Like what admissions was in 2025 is not what admissions is going to be in 2030. It's going to be different.
2030, 2026, right? So let's come off the scary. So there's not one owner or board or provost or president or VP or CEO that has made a request into me, my team, or us, or anybody that I'm familiar with that's deploying AI with institutions that sounds like this. I want to get rid of my whole admissions team, or I want to get rid of my whole finance team, or I want to cut my faculty by half. So deploy a strategy that does that. I haven't heard it once.
Okay.
What you hear is we struggle with and feel like AI can solve that problem. That's a good portion of the requests. And then the rest of it is, how can we give back time to our admissions people so they can spend most of their time voice to voice or face to face with students? So I think what goes lost on folks is how much time is spent down, i.e. doing nothing, or on administrative repetitive tasks that you no longer need to do, like documentation, note-taking, follow-up, strategy, all those kind of things, right? And then 3, how many students go essentially unassisted in the best way today? And that's where most of the deployment is. So will admissions look different down line? 100%. And it's not 2030, it's a lot quicker. Here's why it's a lot quicker so that everybody understands it. The technology is continuing to get cheaper and cheaper by the day and more
Okay.
accessible by the day. So when something is really easy to deploy and it's cheaper and it works really well, adoption increases really fast. So what does that mean for you as an admissions representative, a leader, and then let's say owner, right? What that means for you as an admissions representative is you have a new skill set that you need to attain, adopt, understand, master. That's what that means. That doesn't mean I need to go find another job or that I won't have a job. It means I need to learn a new skill set to stay
Yeah.
competitive or provide the best experience for my student. As a leader, all the things that you struggled with for so long now have a true tangible solution. And you need to understand what that means, how to deploy it, how to use it with your team. And as an owner, you could have one school, 60 students, 5 faculty, 1 rep, and you can operate better than a Veda or Paul Mitchell within 6 weeks using this technology. So that's kind of the reality of it, right?
I mean, and the reality is those bigger schools are going to adopt it. They have bigger budgets and they're more likely to adopt something like this. I do fear for the smaller school. We're not saying to get rid of a rep. It's just going to kind of obviously change what that looks like. So I'm sorry if you can hear my dog hacking up along in the background. When it comes to the chat, someone asked about, I mean, that to me is a great question about it being impersonal. I have seen, maybe let's more so get into what your AI solutions look like, and then we'll kind of like break that down into different areas, because I've seen some AI. I've gone to several conferences this year.
Yeah.
I've gone to the booths. I have picked up the phone and I have talked with an AI rep. I'm annoyed. It is so, I am like fast. Can you just answer? And it's like we're talking over each other. It's like, like it's like, I'm like talking to a robot and I just want someone to talk to me. Are we just going to start pissing people off? Like, let's talk about maybe the solutions that kind of suck that maybe are.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I'll talk to the different solutions available today, and then we'll start talking about risk and what to watch for, because what you're addressing is a lot like dot-com bubble, and I know that was a long time ago. So when the internet came along, it was an opportunity for many products to be developed. And I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but the majority of those solutions or businesses didn't make it because they didn't understand application, they didn't understand industry, they weren't well backed. Oh, there's a bunch of different reasons, right? You're kind of in that in AI. So the majority of the AI solutions available for higher education today, you ready? Suck. Okay. And the reality for that is because we're really early in the cycle. So a lot of the tests that you're going to do are going to sound weird and annoying. And what is this person talking about? And
But why are these people launching these products that suck? Like, why don't you just
so let's get to the basic premise of it is this, especially for
They're
executives.
trying to be first to market, by the way. That's what they want to go to the conference and be like, we're doing AI admissions, but it's like, yeah, but it blows. And so when it gets better, like no one's going to trust you. And I'm not gonna like talk bad about everyone, but
yeah, it is. So it's about money, right? So it's, if I'm first to market, I have a product and I have some adoption, I make some money, maybe I sell the company, whatever it may be. So set that aside. Yeah, I mean, the warning label on that is if you're a school, work with a technology firm that only works with schools, A, and then B, that developed AI over time as part of their core product. They weren't born yesterday. You do that, I think you'll be safe. So let's get back to the fun stuff. All right, solutions. So end-to-end admissions will take quite a bit of time, probably 24 to 36 months, to not sound like what you've experienced and what chat is experiencing, right? So that's A, right? So we don't deploy any of that for that reason. B, I think you need to understand how the back-end brain of the best AI technology being deployed in education today works. And it will allow you to kind of add 1 + 1 to get to where it could be or where it is today. So let me give you that, right?
Okay.
So schools have the capability today to build their own artificial intelligence brains that they own specifically to admissions that are essentially a combination of best known competencies and skill set in human history. So think student communication psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Think, what that would include is tonality, pace, listening, um, peeling onion, diving in deeper.
What tool is this that you're talking about when you're talking about building a brain like this? I mean, I'm going to build it on a whiteboard. Like, what do you build this on? Is there like a website? Like, what are you talking about?
You got to work with the right companies in the space. So there's a few different companies that do it, but this is kind of what they allow you to do. And I can
Okay.
list out to be actionable for your group a couple of companies that I think work and do really well and that we work with
Okay.
here at the end. But so you're building a knowledge base that essentially has all the human soft skills. Then you can give hard skills that then can have access to thousands and thousands and thousands of calls, either from your school or other schools or over time, that teaches itself. So here's where I'm going with this. The best AI technology deployed today, how many folks do we have on this call right now? About 100 and so. Let's call it
Yeah.
100. 95 out of 100 people would not be able to point it out, whether it was AI or human. So if you were to take the top 10% technologies, you wouldn't be able to figure that out. Okay.
I'm one of the 5. I
Right,
realize
you're
that.
one of the 5. Right. Now, here's where I think people do not need to get stuck there. So let me explain this to you. If you're an admissions representative at a beauty school and you're doing tours and it's busy season,
Yeah.
let's say 2 to 3 hours of your day is on the floor doing tours.
Yeah.
You have the other half of your day where you're outbound prospecting, helping
Following
students
up.
through the enrollment process, whatever it may be. And there are 3 students that really want to start the school, and you're just waiting on them to call you back with some information or whatever it may be, but you're on tour. So in our traditional model is the person calls, leaves a voicemail, and then waits for you to respond before they can facilitate their enrollment process forward. If you go back to what I said through looking through those 4 lenses, student, you, outcomes for you and the student, that's a terrible experience. You just have to accept that that is a terrible experience. Think about your own life. You want to get something done now. You call, no one answers, or you have to leave a voicemail and wait for someone to call back.
Mhm.
Not a great experience. Now, it's not terrible, it's not horrible, but we're in a very competitive environment. So maybe they're going through that in parallel with a competitor. And if the competitor is able to make it less friction and easier, they win. You
Right.
lose the student. What AI will allow schools to do today and in the future is, instead of that person going to voicemail, AI can take over for that admissions representative and facilitate the proper next steps for the student. And that didn't lessen your value as an admissions representative, that increased your value as an admissions representative.
So someone is on tour
Yep.
and a new prospect comes in. It's going to
Yep.
be at least an hour before this rep can get back to them.
It's not. The reality is, right? I come from the admissions floor a long time ago. It ain't
Yeah.
an hour, because you finish for an hour. Lunch comes up, a meeting, a call. You got to get through your documentation, follow up notes, and then you.
You've had 3 leads in an hour. What is a good AI system doing with those leads?
Yeah, so some of the great examples that I'm seeing is AI allows schools to communicate omni-channel almost day one. So if you're a school that's stuck in text and phone, there are solutions you can turn on Monday that you go immediately from phone and email to phone, email, DM on all platforms, and digital chat or pop up on the iPhone or whatever it may be. So that inbound comes in via call or whatever it may be, right? The best solutions are the AI answers the call for you, discloses that it's an AI. That's not a terrible experience because I built a relationship with Jenn already. Hey, Jenn's busy. She's on tour. I'm here for you. How can I help? How can I facilitate? Hey, finally got my proof of graduation. I just need somewhere to send that so that I can take the next step, right? So this is real life. This is happening today. Great. Just text it to me. This is AI doing this. This has nothing to do with personal experience, whatever. Document comes in via text into the AI platform. So old school, now a human has to look at it. Is this the right proof of graduation? Did this person graduate? Is this an acceptable document? All that is parsed and done by AI instantly. Jen, I got it. Thank you. That's the document we needed. I'm going to submit it on your behalf. The next step is finish your FAFSA. The next step is, show up to your financial aid appointment tomorrow. The next step is I just sent you enrollment documents to sign, right? And you're able to facilitate the student forward.
Which,
That's
by the
really
way,
Ocean
that's the
Schools
stuff
need.
admissions hates.
Say that again. Say
That's
again.
the stuff that admissions hates to do. They're
Yeah.
like,
So people are like, you're super pro AI. No, I'm super pro education employees. That's why I'm super pro
yeah. I mean,
student.
it sounds to me just like the efficiency. And Margot just asked a question that I was going to ask. I literally wrote it down as we were talking. Let's talk about help with FAFSA.
Yeah.
What is AI doing in that area? Because I
Oh,
was
yeah. It's
like,
so we just worked with the school group on something called Walk Me. It's an AI tool, and it essentially assists a student in completing a FAFSA, just like if you had an in-person financial aid officer doing it, and it can
walk me.
walk me. Yeah, yeah. And it's so imagine, okay, so really great schools. I think there's different sizes of schools on here. So if you're a smaller school or medium or regional school, you should be doing financial aid in a very hands-on way because our students need it and you can afford it, and it actually gives you a competitive advantage. What does that mean? That means I treat every student in a custom tailored manner. I help them identify what they may qualify for. I help them do their FAFSA so I can minimize errors and verification. I help them source documents, submit documents, go through packaging one-on-one, right? Very difficult to do to scale, but also our students are not always available when we're available. So lots of admissions people on here, right? What's number one complaint? FA is not available, right? My student finance
Yeah.
team is not available. Yeah. So imagine all that going out.
Also, why I did a webinar 3 months ago teaching admissions people how to do a FAFSA, because I'm like, y'all can at least help someone with a freaking FAFSA. Just get the
Correct. But
FAFSA.
also, do I really want to do that? Right? Like, I'm an admissions person.
Correct. A
I
lot of
get
them
it.
don't, or they don't have time for that. So I love the idea of an AI, because a lot of times it's just like,
Mhm.
hey, I'm stuck on this question, right?
Yeah.
Or like my parent needs help with this. And it's
Yeah,
like,
the FAFSA has gotten a lot easier. So there's a lot less
yeah,
questions. There's a lot less steps to submit, but the questions are very robust and specific to me. And this is a great use case of AI, and students don't care that it's AI because it's helping you through a complicated process. If you're in admissions and you haven't looked or done a FAFSA or submitted a PIN request, it's not fun, right? So what WalkMe does is either through on-screen guided steps, text, Zoom, or voice, it'll help a student complete their FAFSA. What's really cool about it is it remembers where the student stopped, and the student can come back with mom or dad or a later time and pick up
love
where they
that.
left off to finish. So I also like to talk numbers in education because I like to remove emotions, right? So in a lot of the surveys that I've seen into students in schools that are using AI in kind of a functional manner, like WalkMe, um, there's a very, very positive response to AI conversation. And when you look at what is the number one kind of promoter for students that's driving that positive response, it's this. And for all of you on this, you should agree with the following, right? Um, Students say, I prefer to interact with the AI when, whatever you want to fill in, scheduling an appointment, rescheduling admissions, finishing application, completing my FAFSA, making a payment because of this. They essentially say, I can just go straight to this truth immediately. So imagine this. Hey, why did you not show up to your tour? No one wants to tell you that, right? No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to have that conversation. And what
Yeah.
students are saying is because you do have to disclose that it's AI in higher education in all states, FYI.
Okay.
So AI does have to say, hey, Jen, I'm AI in some kind of shape, way, or form on behalf of said school. And what students are saying is, because of that, I can just go straight up. Look, I didn't want to come yesterday. And what we're seeing is since that gap in transparency is closing, it's much faster to address the problem, objection, or to come to a solution. Well, why did you not want to come yesterday? I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can afford this. I don't have that document. I didn't graduate. I'm not
I am
ready.
probably more likely to be honest with a robot than a real person who
Yeah.
might like have something mean to say back to me, or you're scared or whatever. So it's like,
Statistically, right, the data we're looking at is saying that. So this is an anecdotal. I'll give you another piece of data because I like to throw the emotions out with the water. Most of beauty schools struggle with response time, not because y'all don't want to, because y'all just can't. Okay.
right.
And the data says that students have a peak period of interest. It's different by age group, but if I use 18 to 25 female, peak period of interest is just about 3 minutes. So a lot of marketing companies like to call it speed to lead, all the above, right? But just for that school group in America, it's about 3 minutes. What that means is whatever I'm doing right now, 3 minutes later, I'm moving on to something else. And if you think about your personal life, that's real,
Yep.
right? I'm scrolling, I see a thing, I look at it, I'm moving on, right? I'm on lunch break, I look up the school, but I got to go back to lunch. So that makes a whole lot of sense. So AI does not have a tail, the response time. It's always instant.
Yeah.
So
Which what
statistically,
people want in this instant that's why people chat GPT. That's why kids are
yeah,
born with like freaking Google, right? Like we have kids that are used to getting answers immediately.
yeah, exactly. Right. So where I stay with AI in education is how can we enhance, how can we scale our
Yep.
humans, right? So that we can have a better student experience, a better employee experience, so we can achieve better student outcomes and better school outcomes. And that's how I look at it. There's not one school group that's going all in on AI day one. Doesn't exist, right? The winning schools are deploying AI features against low-hanging fruit opportunities today.
Where are the small schools starting then? And don't say chat because I hate a chat.
Yeah, so chat is part of the answer, but I'll move on.
No,
So
well, I mean, okay, well, let maybe we should talk about chat. I just find them, a lot of them, like an Apex chat. I mean, a lot of them are just disguised as a lead form. It's not an actual
yeah,
chat.
well, you have to deploy true AI. You can't deploy decision making or matrix or a contact center behind a form. No, true AI.
But I
Okay,
have been on plenty of beauty school
yeah.
websites where
So
the chat is not a
yeah,
chat.
don't do that. I'll give you 60 seconds of it. Okay, so if you want to deploy chat traditionally, you have to pay a technology. So let's call that $500 a month, and then you have to have humans or a contact center. Let's call that 1,500 a month at the bottom end, right? And you can only deploy it when your humans can actually answer. So you're spending $2,000 to $10,000 a month to do chat within very limited hours. Okay, so we'll start there. The other side of that is you don't do chat. Okay, I'm kind of direct about stuff that I've seen evidence of over decades. You have to do chat. So schools that don't do chat are giving up 5 to 10% enrollments from their organic channels.
You have to do chat well. It has to be a good chat. This is
Yeah,
the because I'm a data person too.
yeah.
And as an agency, we run tests on schools for lead flow and ones that have a chat that is basically a lead form, meaning they ask a question, great question, we'll have someone get back to you, and that's it. You actually end up getting more leads if you just don't have the chat on there, because if they're just going to fill out the form, like if that's the only CTA. So I am anti-chat unless it's done well. And it's
That's
not
anything
well,
though, Jen. That's anything.
but
So I
it's
can
not
say,
done well. Most of these schools are not doing it well. That's why I bring it
yeah, I
up.
think that's where AI can help. So what AI can do, and we'll get off chat, is this. It's a fraction of that cost, right? Yeah, it's 24 hours a day, and it can help all students. So most chat at most schools, especially beauty schools, is for enrollment. It's not assisting with transcripts. It's not assisting with schedules. It's not assisting with hours. It's not assisting with, there's a traffic delay, a tornado, a hurricane, whatever it may be. So why are schools doing AI in chat as a first step? Well, A, because now you can actually deploy it. B, you can deploy it 24 hours a day. C, you can deploy it at a fraction of the cost. You can deploy it well, and you can deploy it for multiple functions. Got it? Good. Cool. We'll move off chat. Okay. The
Yep.
second place is you guys live off of social media. And if you're not living off of social media, you ought to be. I would assume that's what Jen's been screaming about in these webinars all the time. And I'll get to compliance. I see compliance, and then I'll give you options to the vendors you should be working with. I'm just looking at chats too. Okay,
Okay.
so social media is tough, and social media is hard. Okay, I have done social media within our companies, with our schools, at schools. I've ran social media teams, marketing. Here's why it's tough. It's because it's a volume game, a
Mhm.
quality game, and an availability game. Social media is 24 hours a day. right? If you like to scroll, you know. Most people scroll before they go to bed, when they wake up and can't go back to sleep, in the morning, at lunch, whatever it may be. The reason that it's a volume game is because you're in competition with everybody else on social media, not just beauty schools, right? You're
Right.
you're chasing time for eyeballs with everyone. Nike, the Kardashians, every beauty brand. Like,
Social media is not, I mean, it's entertainment. And
yeah,
if you look on the
everybody.
app store, it's an entertainment app. That's what TikTok is. It's not
Exactly.
like you're just catching up with friends.
So where is AI being deployed there? Three really cool and very well done areas. Content production.
Okay.
So here's how it's I've seen it done really well. Somebody at a school grabs an iPhone, shoots a 5-minute video. Student, tour, event, flips the camera around, talks about the upcoming start, walks into the career services office and talks about new opportunities. Just a long form 5-minute video. AI today, schools are using it. Some of the schools on this webinar you got are using it that way. You take that 5-minute video, you give it to a content platform, it turns it into about a month's worth of content at the right volume.
Like they're chopping it up into a bunch of different.
Stopping the video, turning it into posts, stills, creating images to go along with it. You can set your brand standards. So that's deployment number one. So now I just turned 5 minutes into a whole calendar of content. Is it going to work? You don't know. No one knows on social media. That's why it's a volume game. You produce
Right.
content, you put it out, what hits, you do more of. So that's A, right? B, you have to engage audience. If you don't engage audience, all your ad dollars on social media, all your content, everything you do is a waste of time.
Yep.
And engagement happens on the post, on the ad, on the question, on the chat, on the tag, on the everything related to that. So number two, social media AI agents are so good. They're unbelievable. And schools are using them today. So imagine a graduate at their place of employment, then at your page because they've been there for 2 years and it's their anniversary and is like, learn the best, glad to be here for 2 years. Currently, unless you got like a savvy full-time social media person, you're not catching that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
AI social media agents catch it, respond on your behalf on the post, reshare it, and can carry a conversation that leads to an outcome.
So instead of the social media manager having to check their notifications,
Yep.
a couple times a day and then being like, oh, on Monday, Jenn posted about her time here. Let me repost that. This would have been done on Monday. You wouldn't have had to wait three. It would have been immediate.
Yeah. So what you should be doing is deploying social media agents and then intervening on high value conversations. Right. So I engage with everything 24 hours a day. And then I key in on what matters most: problem areas and positive areas. Student is destroying the school online. Let me jump into that. Right. I've got a thread that the AI turned into 30 back and forth comments. Let me jump in on that. But also, social media agents integrated into your CRM correctly have the ability to essentially filter out people. So I see Jenn commented. Jenn, thanks for commenting. Are you a student or have you ever thought of being interested in beauty? I'm actually interested in beauty. They can now turn that into a lead.
Okay, but can I just go back really quick because it is something that I've been seeing a lot of is the reputation management side.
That's number three. So I'll go there. But yeah, ask me the question.
Oh, I thought you just talked about that, about people
So,
talking
so
about
you can use it for reputation management, but reputation management using AI at scale is really cool and done.
Well, no, let's talk about that because beauty schools
Yeah.
are getting, I mean, raked over the coals on social media, specifically about, I mean, let me just tell you all the number one complaint about beauty schools, and you tell me how AI could help then.
Yeah.
I mean, there are videos galore and comments on social media about how what guys, beauty school is using you for free. You're paying $20,000 and you're working in their salon for free. That is
Yeah.
the number one complaint. I mean, it is everywhere. Don't waste your time. You're free labor. They hate you. Well, I mean, it's pretty bad. And so, and it's not just that complaint. I mean, there's a bunch, right? Like the teachers suck, whatever. Like if people are talking badly on social media about your school and you have a 22-year-old social media manager, she does not know what to do about this.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what So
This
what can
is,
we do in that
yeah, I
area?
mean, this is a mix of strategy and how you can use AI today to do that. So, reputation and like thematic reputation issues are part of business, right? At
Sure.
some point, the community colleges are bad right now, right? Trade schools that are high tuition, that are deemed unrequired, that could be replaced by a union, or beauty schools are bad. Right now, the elite universities are bad, so that's normal. Strategically, how you combat that is to tell the good stories at your school. But you have to do it at scale, right? Because they're doing it at scale, so you have to have the capacity to do it at scale. Talk about
I
how you
agree.
can use AI content to do that.
Drown out bad with lots of good,
With
but
good,
with encouragement.
strategically, right? But you got to do it at scale. Like you can't
Yeah.
be, as a school group, a president or somebody in marketing, you can't be like, we put out 5 posts today and got 200 people to engage. That ain't doing nothing.
Right.
I'm just telling you right now, right? Because a clickbait bad story about beauty schools in Portland or in Austin is probably going to garner 100,000 impressions plus easy on day
Yes.
one, right? And you got to do a lot to combat that. So that's a B. Active listening is not a new tool. It's been around for a long time. If you use Sprout Social or any of those type of things, it was just very human dependent. So what active listening is a human goes in and essentially can look at a repository of all the things being said about your brand online, or you
Okay.
can run queries to say, is anyone saying anything about fraud, Nawress school? And you kind of look those things up.
Okay.
AI essentially just does it automatically today, right? So it can scrape your pages, your friends, your anything that's added or said about a brand in real time, and then you can use new automation workflows to kind of pull those into a list or send notifications so you can react to it. So that's A. But where we see most success is positive reviews at scale. So this is a blend of reputation and a blend of SEO. And we're kind of all over the place here, but that's okay.
All of this leads to enrollment at your schools.
Yes,
Everyone knows that. If
exactly.
you have bad Google reviews, bad TikTok reviews, no one's coming to your school.
Exactly. So technically, that is because localized SEO is now its very own standalone thing inside of Google, and
Hmm.
most of the weight is your reviews. So
Hmm.
that's if I'm within 5 miles of your campus and I look up hair salon school near me or whatever it may be. So A, you have to be set up technically right to show up, but B,
Right.
how you rank is based off your reviews. And where I find most beauty schools that I have conversations with get wrong is the number of reviews they think will make an impact. And whatever you think the number is, it's probably 10 to 20 times that
Mm.
to actually show up. And it's 5 stars that matter. And you have to have a tangible way to A, solicit those reviews, weed out bad reviews, make sure good reviews get published, right? Um, in an efficient way. AI helps you
Yeah.
do that. So there are AI.
And it responds, right? We can have AI responding to positive reviews. Thank you so much. We loved doing your hair or just whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So that's those are the kind of the key areas for beauty schools. It's been social media, content, reputation. They are doing chat. Contact centers are being replaced like 1,000 a day.
Yeah.
So if you're using a contact center, they're not going to be around for a long time. Just as a
And I
head.
do, yeah, I mean, when we're looking at the future of admissions in schools, that is the future, right? To
Yeah.
1 to 5 years. I mean, we're seeing contact centers will likely be AI.
Yeah. So okay, compliance, adherence, and
Yeah,
observation.
let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
So, like, I had a list of what vendors you should work with and what questions to ask. You should never deploy AI that you can't monitor, that doesn't have a compliance control measure. So, AI, unlike us, has kind of like an on-off button. They call it inference in that world. We call it like by the seat of my pants. If that's a good way to say it, right? So you can turn that button on and off. You just got to make sure you use a vendor that allows you to do that. What does that mean? Okay, so if I tell AI you can't play outside of this square,
Hmm.
it doesn't have the ability to test that. It just can't play outside of that square. So if I say, if I teach it into its knowledge base and say, you can never imply guarantee wage upon graduation, and I don't even want you to. It just can't. It doesn't have the ability like us to think on its own if you tell it not to. If I say go for it, yeah, you're in for it. Like, I mean, we've done some fun tests where we've just let AI go. And you guys know students. I mean, we're sitting here and it's like Einstein's relativity theory, and are we going to Mars? And
Right.
it'll go for sure. Yeah, I promised you a list, so I will give you a list at the end of this call of.
Well, and let's also just talk about your software in general, because I know you guys have
Yeah.
software.
So we use software. We're helping a lot of schools get on something called Campus Admin AI. That's so well done and really designed for schools and is cost efficient and is designed for different sizes and different capabilities. And beauty schools are using it in a bunch of different ways. It
You
has
essentially have a CRM slash SIS. Or
so correct. Yes.
okay, so it's both. It's literally from like lead all the way through graduation.
Yes. Correct.
Has
Yep.
built, and it does have the ability to build in some of these AI features.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then I don't want to skip over this question because we just started getting on, we got off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Compliance wise, the things AI says, that is something that you as an institution trains the AI to make
Yeah.
sure.
So yes. So there's two ways to do that. Some of the features kind of come with a repository, and then all of them allow you to train. And there are rules. This is a little bit of confusion in the space. People say there's no rules around this. There are rules around this. So how you communicate with students using AI is actually regulated by the FTC. And FTC just essentially deems AI as a robo dialer. It doesn't matter what you use it for. So if you use it to help students, I don't know, get through a class or a quiz or book salon appointments or collect payments for student payments, whatever use case you're using, the communication aspect of it is regulated by the FTC. There are no Dear Colleague letters or standards released by the Department of Education on it. I would assume that there will be some. They're a little busy right now with all the things that's going on between them and the administration, right? There have been, not to my knowledge, any accreditation requirements or laws just yet. I would assume they're waiting for the Department of Ed, right? And the states, some states do have regulations, so you got to look at your state regulations. But yes, so here's okay. If you just turn on GPT and deployed it to your school, you got problems. Okay. That's why you have to deploy software in a controlled manner where you input the information, you train, you control, you put in the compliance boundaries, and then you get the output. So somebody's saying, is it's good as what comes out? Yep, that's for sure. Okay, and then I get a lot of very specific use case questions from people. I don't have a problem giving this group like 20 to 30 minutes of my time. So I can also share a booking link with the group if they want to have some very specific to their school as it relates to
I
AI.
mean, schools I think are interested. Joseph specifically put that in there, just the name of your software and how they can get a hold of you guys to do demos.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll put that right here for everybody.
And make sure you change it to everyone, because when you're a panelist, it says host and panelists only. You get to switch it.
To host and panelist, but
Yeah,
then
change it to everyone.
to everyone. Got it. Yep. No problem.
We can put that in there for you guys. And right, I mean, you guys recently launched, I know you guys have been working on this. Can you kind of give us like the background on this software, like how you started it? Yeah, the
Yes.
history of
Yeah,
it.
I'm just giving you this information.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, so our group and myself have worked with schools through business process outsourcing for a couple of decades. And all that means is that schools have a need, like deploying a student information system, or growing their enrollment by 20%, or merging two schools together, or adding 100 admissions representative or whatever it may be. And we did the work alongside the schools. So a bunch of people got on a plane, we went to the schools and did the work. And we've done that with schools for a long time. Our longest tenure clients are 10 years plus. And what happens over time when you do that is you start to understand the tech stack in higher education, its inability to do certain things that schools need, how a software that's designed for other industries really does not cross over into higher education very well. So we ended up building a lot of technology over the years, deploying a lot of technology, working with a lot of schools in a variety of different ways, and had a 10-year plan to essentially take everything we've done with schools and put that into software. COVID expedited that. AI expedited that. So that's where the product came from, is that experience. And we've helped schools with,
Cool.
I think we're over 25 million leads now, and 130,000 enrollments as it relates to the front end of the business. So there's definitely a lot of background that kind of went into it. Good. Any interesting topics to kind of close us out in a good way?
Awesome. Well, can you put, I don't see your message in the
I'm
chat.
trying, but it keeps going to host and panelist. I'm just going to give it to you,
Give
and
it
then
to me and then I'll
I'll
copy and
let you
paste it.
paste it. Yeah,
That's wild.
there you go. Got it.
Hold on, everyone, it's coming. I still don't see it.
Here's, if somebody wants to chat, I can just use this link.
I still don't see it. Maybe,
Sure. Yeah, do
oh,
you get it?
wait, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
It's coming, guys. All right, there you go, where you guys can, and what's the name of your company?
Yep, and just pop that all up there.
Perfect.
Um,
I'm gonna put that in there.
if you want to chat, just put it there, and if I can accommodate it, great, no problem. I'd be more than happy to chat to anybody. Um, I'm a
Can I ask you if anyone's ever, if reps have ever gone rogue, like AI reps, where they just start speaking gibberish and speaking something that it's not trained, or is
I've
it?
seen it. I've seen it. But again, it's a button, right? So you either turn it off or you either turn it on or you turn it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you either turn it
It's
on.
just something you have to be monitoring. No one is, and that's why I like that you said you don't know a school that's 100% gone full into AI, got rid of staff, and it's just been a slow implementation.
Mhm.
So, Jonathan is wondering, could you walk through the next steps for schools that would like to implement some of the tools you mentioned? Where do you think schools should start here?
Yeah. I mean, you need to attack things that are causing your school to not provide the best student experience, best employee experience, or achieve the best outcomes. That's where you need to start. So that's an inventory of your systems and your processes that are impacting those four things the most. So as a first step, what would I do, right? If I was a leader, I'd gather our group. We talk about not pie in the sky or fad AI implementation, but where do we really need to get better? Like, where are we creating friction for you as an employee and or the student, and it's impacting outcomes, right? And what you might hear is document collection, after hours. We don't nurture students enough. We don't communicate with students enough. We don't do anything on social media. Those are the kind of the things that are going to come out of that conversation most likely. Or
Don't start with what you're doing well and try to replace that. What
no,
aren't
no,
you
no,
doing
no.
at
Yeah,
all?
this is enhancement and opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to get a list of like 10 to 100 as a school. And as a leader, I would go to the most impactful one of those. And then I would seek kind of counsel from experts. I think where schools get in trouble is they go into a shopping spree, and you're going to run into a lot of what Jan ran into, right? I call them rappers, or companies that just got stood up that sound cool, look cool, right? But really just can't deliver. So don't go shopping. I would say reach out to network and folks, other school owners, other folks in the space. Jen, you can have a call with me if you'd like. And then you identify a solution that fits into your current infrastructure. This is what's important. So whatever you're doing today, it has to fit into what you're doing. It can't cause like a break or harm to your current systems and process. You're counter essentially affecting the output of that. So what that means is let's say you use Anthology or Slate or Salesforce or Lead Squared or whatever, right? Okay, does this play nice with that? Right? Yes or no? So that's kind of number two. And then number three, enter into an agreement that's not long-term in nature and test out different products to see what moves the needle. So that's really how I'd go about it.
That's awesome.
Um, We're starting with our AI agents talking to students after hours. Yeah, that's a lot of different use cases for that, for sure.
I mean, that's actually one of the top things I've heard from schools this past year is, yeah, everyone's always looking at making admissions better, but retention with students is an issue, especially like with mental health issues or just whatever's going on. Like they're not showing up for class, or what can we do? And this seems like a great idea
Yeah. I mean, whew, retention.
AI wise to help.
Yeah, so not beauty schools, but the big schools, that's where they're using it right now. Is
That makes sense.
so they're feeding their AI apps, models, whatever you want to call it, student data. And there's a bunch of ways to do this without sharing PPI, but attendance, adherence, engagement, grades, and they're able to intervene on students to improve retention and or help them with resources. So like outside of beauty schools, biggest deployment is retention in broader higher education, right? For sure.
I think that's
I
great.
think of
And
really cool stuff when it comes to that in beauty, right? So, okay, so we've done some really cool stuff that I think can be really adopted in beauty with aeronautical schools. So, and this is me just being a novice when it comes to hair, right? Like, if I'm a brand new student, how nervous are your students when they hit the salon? I mean, just like 3 hour trims, right? Like, so a lot of
they're
the
shaking with their shears. Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of that prep work comes on the doll, the dummy, whatever you guys call it, right? The fake head. And it's kind of like welding or kind of like aeronautics. Imagine giving your student a tool that they can chat, talk, text with that kind of helps them with next steps, how to, images, pictures. What do I do now? This happened. How do I do it? Like I imagine the the students that care, right? Would use that in a very effective way and can gain a lot of confidence and skill through having kind of a 24-hour mentor in that way. And that's
Yeah.
such an easy use case because you can take your curriculum, your book, or your styling technique, put it in a knowledge base, and just like that, right? It would be great. A lot of aeronautical schools are using that, right? I'm fixing a plane's engine. I go ask a question. I know what I'm doing, so on and so on and so on.
No, I think that's great. And I think you've given everyone a lot to think about. Again, we're not trying to replace admissions or anything like that. I think it's, well, maybe your call center. But it's for
Yeah, I
sure
mean, not we. Look, your call centers are gone within 5 years, is my projection.
interesting. Yeah. I mean, I talked to a lot of, I just talked to one today where a lot of schools are using appointment setters, and it sounds like a lot of this can be done AI wise,
Oh, yeah.
probably for cheaper, and they don't call out sick and need to go on vacations.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
might be the way to go, you guys.
Now, on a positive note, because I want to give you a positive note, right? If I look at all diplomas, degrees that are currently offered by schools,
Yeah.
what you offer as beauty schools is sticky and will be around for a long time. My hope for you and for our students is that states unrestrict their ungodly requirements so that you can get a lot more effective at educating and putting out students the right way. But beauty schools aren't going anywhere, right?
I'm with you. Guys, no, I can't believe not one person in the chat has mentioned my extensions that I just got.
Yeah.
Because I had a big dramatic haircut. It was a whole thing on here. But yes, I mean, beauty is not going anywhere. I really appreciate you all joining our webinar. We have one more left of the year, which will happen in mid-December, and it is going to be around hiring and firing. I know we've done one of those before, but it's going to be with a recruitment agency, and it's going to be great. So I appreciate you all joining. Thank you to our guest, Nawress. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us.
Absolutely. Yeah. For those that I know, good to see you. I'm so happy to see your name. For those that I don't, good to meet you. I know it's a small space, so I look forward to seeing you somewhere.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, you guys have a great day. Talk soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.